welcome back to another study vlog. I'm studying for my second critical care exam. The test is focused on the cardiovascular system. Starting off on Sunday, the first thing I always do is put all of my objectives onto one document. Starting off on Sunday, I spent about 4 hours at the Shepherd just going over the first chapter, which was cardiovascular alterations. This chapter covered topics such as acute coronary syndrome, heart failure, and aortic aneurysms. This little nook at the Shepherd is one of my favorite places to study. About halfway through, I got a flat white with honey and cinnamon. Anytime I have a question while I'm studying, I always post on the discussion board. Never be afraid to ask questions. Got this chopped salad with chicken and avocado. It was so good. By the time I left, I had made almost 200 flashcards just for the first chapter. Headed home, made a peppermint tea, and then got straight into the next chapter, which was hemodynamics. Every time I go over an objective, I like to highlight it to make sure that I know I covered it and know it's my Quizlet. By the end of the night, I got halfway through hemodynamics and then decided to go to bed so I can get up early the next day and get a fresh start. Monday morning, I reviewed all of the atrial dysrhythmias. I wanted to go over those before moving on to the ventricular ones, which is what we were learning in class that day. Learning heart rhythms at first can be intimidating, but my best advice is practice, practice, practice. Look at as many strips as you can. Monday after class, I went home and reviewed everything we went over that day. I also made Quizlets for atrial arrhythmias, junctional rhythms, heart blocks, and the ventricular dysrhythmias. I find it a little easier to learn each feature of the heart rhythms by breaking up each type into their own Quizlets instead of just making one big one. By the end of the night, I made a little sticky note with all of the things that I needed to check in the book, which is what I did the next morning as soon as I woke up. On Tuesday, I had looked at all of the chapters. Now I am just going back and reviewing everything again. What I like to do is put my Quizlet in learn mode and I click memorize it all, and as I'm going through the Quizlet, I will be taking very detailed notes and drawing pictures. I find that using Quizlet in this way really helps me understand the content. Also, drawing pictures is so helpful. It does take some time to get through these long Quizlets, but it ensures I'm covering every piece of content from the lecture. The last thing I went over Tuesday night before going to bed was all of the arrhythmias. Wednesday, I had 12 and a half hours of clinical, so moving on to Thursday, I went to my favorite coffee shop, and the first thing I did was review hemodynamics again. After I got through all my flashcards, I got a strawberry matcha with strawberry cold foam. It was delicious. Getting a fun drink always just makes studying so much better. I spent about 4 hours at Day Drinkers, and then I headed home, did some more reviewing, and to end the night I joined my teacher's Zoom review call, and that was everything I did to study for my second critical care exam. Thanks for watching. Bye.